Hey there! How is ya? How you be? This here is conservative Jake Mills coming at you again for another edition of my views, as always, from a conservative standpoint. Well, headline news. It seems as though Russian President Vladimir Putin, unfortunately, has decided to go ahead with that invasion on Ukraine. You know something? This thing got the potential to not only be dangerous for our NATO Western Europe allies, but it can be dangerous in the way of us by way of our economy. Now, as of a month ago, we import 11% of our oil supply from Russia. That's right, Russia. A lot of people don't know that. 11%. We're talking 200 and some million barrels of crude oil coming just from Russia alone. And that don't include what we import from the Saudis. Now, my whole point of this coming on here today is to talk about energy independence and how a lot of this could have been prevented by us. Ukraine wouldn't be in danger right now had we done things a little bit different. As I said in a couple videos before, when the former President Donald Trump was in office, Putin wasn't thinking about invading no Ukraine. Wasn't even thinking about it. Now that we got this weak administration in place with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, now we done gave Putin an open door to do whatever he wants to do over there in that region. Because he knows that we got a weak leader in place. He knows that he got us over a barrel, literally and figuratively, as far as the oil goes. And he also knows that President Biden killed whatever hopes we had of our energy independence by shutting down that Keystone Pipeline. Now, the only reason why Joe Biden shut that pipeline down was to appease his far leftists that's in his own party. Now, we did have a low oil spill there about 2 years ago. About 338 gallons of oil spilled out in North Dakota, which ain't really a popular state, I might add. And when this happened, them tree huggers went crazy. Lost their minds. They said, oh my gosh, look what's happening to the environment. Look what happened with this pipeline. It's dangerous. We need to shut this down. Well, if you'd have kept building it and hadn't shut it down, we'd be one step closer to not needing that 11% of oil from Russia. Now, the fact of the matter is, the brunt of our oil supplies, we make it right here in America. And we employ thousands of jobs in the oil industry, supplying us our oil. And just think what keeping that pipeline open would have done. Because see, now, with Putin knowing how much oil that we importing, he ain't worried. He ain't worried about poking the bear. Not at all. And he ain't worried about no daggone sanctions, which is what the president today announced. Economic sanctions on Russia. The fact of the matter is, Putin don't give a darn about no sanctions. Because the fact of the matter is, he knows that by us sanctioning him, that's only going to turn on ourselves. Which meaning, if he cuts off our oil supply because we sanctioning him, what do you think is going to happen to our gas prices? Just take a guess. They're going to be through the roof. And they're already there. We could be looking at potentially $7 a gallon for regular. Maybe even 10 if things get too far out of hand and Putin's anger gets out of control. Sanctions ain't going to do nothing. The way you scare Putin is to get energy dependent. The way is you don't need all. And not only that, be energy dependent for ourselves, but we can help supply our NATO allies in Europe. Because see, right now, Russia is supplying 70% of the oil to Europe, which is our quote-unquote NATO allies. 70%. Now, what if we could crack up into that? What if we ramped up our own oil production and started giving them all of our own? Because we already know that none of them countries are paying their fair share to NATO. They want us to keep the brunt of it and want us to put out the most money to support NATO. Whereas the other countries over there ain't paying their fair share that they agreed upon when NATO got started in the first place. This is what former President Trump was up in arms about, and now I'm starting to understand why. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. But my point is, had we kept that pipeline open and got that production ramped up, if Putin knew that the other European countries could get their oil from elsewhere, and he knew that he wouldn't be lining his pockets as much as he is. He's getting filthy rich, folks. He's already filthy rich, and he's getting even richer. And with these sanctions put on, if he raises our gas prices to retaliate, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Because now we're going to be looking at higher gas prices, a potential war over there with our own allies, and a crippled economy. Look, this could send us straight into a recession. Sanctions ain't going to do this. Putin don't care about sanctions. Because you're not going to be able to shut down his operation. You're not going to be able to shut down him doing what he wants to do in Ukraine. That's already a done deal. He's probably going to take over Ukraine. And other countries are watching this. China is watching this. China's watching to see how we deal with the situation. And you're darn sure they're watching how Putin is dealing with the situation. Because as you know, there's a little tiny nation over there called Taiwan that we support, that China wants for itself. And they're going to watch to see what Putin does. And it's going to be like final list. Say, oh, well, we did this and the United States didn't do nothing, wasn't prepared for it. We can go ahead and take Taiwan. So, I'm going to be talking more about this as the days go on. But this is just ridiculous. Because we look weak. When former President Trump was in office, we were strong. People respected us. Now, you got old Sleepy Joe up in there and an embarrassment vice president in Kamala Harris. Completely inept, making all the wrong decisions. And got us out here looking like fools. Embarrassing us. We're supposed to be the leaders. We're supposed to be the country that other nations look to for solving problems. It's supposed to be us. And how the hell that's going to be us if we sitting here looking weak like we are? Utterly ridiculous. Well, I'm about to go up on in here, eat some supper. Old lady's waiting for me. Just had to get that off my chest. And I'll be talking with you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody.